What's going on, guys? Minnesotan here. Today's video, we're going to be going over my top 5 favorite games of this year. I played quite a few games throughout 2020, but this list is only going to include games that were released during this calendar year. Without further ado, let's get into it. Number 5, Hades.
No Zeus, of course.
What at first glance looks like any typical hack and slash level grinder is actually a very rich and addictive game in 2020's Hades, released by Supergiant Games. Hades has a brilliant art style mixed with simple to learn, hard to master mechanics, which put the more proficient players of the game as a cut above the rest. Even through my playthroughs, thinking I had everything figured out, Hades threw a new challenge at me, which added on top of the beginning concepts you learned. I think one of the best parts of the game is its tie-in with Greek mythology. If you were ever a fan of the Percy Jackson series, this game will be right up your alley. You'll be delighted to meet your favorite Olympian gods. The voice actors do a great job of portraying their respective roles, which enhance the game as a whole. From the satisfying combat to numerous mythological references, Hades is a world, or should I say, underworld, of fun. Number 4. Doom Eternal.
Who are you, a human, to defy our traditions?
I would be shocked to find anyone who has played both Doom 2016 and 2020's Doom Eternal and prefer its predecessor. While Doom 2016 was an amazing game, Doom Eternal does everything bigger, better, and most of all, gorier. The Doomslayer's arsenal is packed with dozens of ways to slaughter your demon foe that would make any Catholic mother proud. There is nothing negative I can talk about the base game. The movement is fast-paced, the introduction to dashes makes it feel like you're in a non-stop rush to destroy everything in your sight. The weapon and suit upgrades, coupled with the vast amount of glory kills, makes this one of the best FPS games ever. That doesn't even mention how amazing the game itself looks. Graphically, it is super impressive and runs fantastic on PC. The only knock I can really give it would be towards its multiplayer, which left a lot to be desired. Had it been more of an arena Slayer versus Slayer pit fight type, instead of a demon versus Slayer, I think I would have appreciated a lot more. Nonetheless, Doom Eternal is one of this year's best FPS games. Number 3. Ghost of Tsushima. One of the most anticipated games of 2020, Sucker Punch delivered with full force in Ghost of Tsushima. To be honest, I had no idea what to expect going into this game, but was met with an absolutely incredible story about grieving and self-conflict. The open world, to say the least, is incredible, on par with that of Breath of the Wild, which is one of the best compliments I can give to a game. I truly felt immersed in this era of samurai Japan. Being alone, discovering the gorgeous island of Tsushima was a surreal experience, which I encourage anyone that's able to try for themselves. The combat of the game was very well done. Sucker Punch took a page out of For Honor's book, which used joystick positioning to determine where to strike and block. The game does a great job at both head-on, warrior-like combat, similar to traditional samurai, and its unorthodox, ghostly counterpart. PlayStation has absolutely been killing it with their exclusives recently, and I hope to see more open-world experiences similar to this in the future. Number 2. Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity. Probably the most surprising entry on this list, Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity surpassed every single one of my expectations. Completely redefining the Warriors franchise, Age of Calamity had some of the best innovative gameplay in the hack and slash genre. I played the original Hyrule Warriors game, set in a non-canon alternate Zelda timeline. The game was fine, if not an interesting take on a Zelda game, but Age of Calamity is something completely different. Not only are there 18 different playable characters, each with their own unique moveset, but you get to partake in real historical battles that happened during the Great Calamity, set 100 years before the events of Breath of the Wild. I'll be talking more about this game in a future video on my in-depth thoughts about it, but for the time being, I highly recommend this game, especially if you are a fan of Breath of the Wild. This is a worthy prequel to such a masterpiece of a game. Number 1, The Last of Us Part 2.
So they just get to get away with this?
How'd you find us?
Simply put, The Last of Us Part 2 is one of the greatest games I've ever played. This has forced its way into my top 5 games of all time. I know it's a controversial take for some reason, but I absolutely love this game through and through. This is easily the best story of any game I've ever played. From title screen to ending credits, it was a thrilling roller coaster of emotions and gratifying gameplay. Each performance was delivered perfectly, and the level design was absolutely stunning. I'll eventually be coming out with an in-depth review on the game. I actually have a script completed, but by the time I wanted to start editing and making the video, I got extremely busy over the summer, and it just took its turn on the back burner. Regardless, this game in my eyes is a masterpiece that easily receives a 10 out of 10 score. I would recommend you play the prequel though, however, The Last of Us, before this game. It will improve your experience and connection to the characters that much more. The Last of Us Part 2 is a once-in-a-lifetime game that everyone should experience. Well, that's it. That's my list for favorite games of 2020. Or some of your favorites on my list? Leave a comment below telling me your favorite games of this year. As for plans for my future videos, I hope to get my top 5 favorite albums and movies out sometime soon. After that, will come videos on Age of Calamity, Cyberpunk 2077, The Last of Us Part 2, and some other ones I have planned for early 2021. If you want to see these videos when they come out, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. That's it for me, but until then, I'll see you all next time.